This picture was taken of me when I was just a baby. I had a small nose, small lips, and chubby cheeks. I still kinda do. I've always been someone who's full of energy, and you can usually find me smiling at something. Well, except for maybe in this picture. I'm not sure what's going on here. My mom and dad have always been my biggest cheerleaders through life. But what they may not know is that they have influenced me in so many ways. They are my role models, my mentors, and the people I look up to most in my life. I'm not sure I'd have the strength to be where I am today without them. My Grampy Skip passed away when I was 12 years old from cancer. I still remember his rough hands, the smell of gasoline on his shirt from working in the garage, and the sound of his voice when he would call me the apple of his eye. I have a lot of great memories from when I was a child, but these are my most important ones. My dad and I have a very close relationship. I've spent hours listening to him talk about his intense job working in the prison system, and he is always there for me when I am feeling alone and need a good laugh. He is my rock, my support, and my all-time superhero. I've struggled most of my life to see myself as a role model for others. I've always had this tendency to tell myself that I'm not good enough, or I need to work harder. I know that when you look on the outside, it may seem like I have it all together, but on the inside, I'm really still working on figuring my life out. What my younger sister Olivia doesn't know is that I look up to her in so many ways. She says how she feels, and she never lets anyone push her around. I envy those qualities so much in her. She tells me that I am her role model, and because of that, I try so hard to do right by her every day. On top of being a little sassy, she is an incredibly talented dancer. When I see her perform on stage, I get the goosebumps and tears come to my eyes. The way she connects her heart to the music and lets her emotions flow through her body is true magic, and this is something I hope she never loses through life. Being away from my family can be really difficult at times. Not being able to hear Libby's teenage gossip or be at her dance competitions is hard. But on those days, I think to myself, if there ever comes a day when we can't be together, keep me in your heart. I'll stay there forever. Going off to college was a big life change for me. I was able to truly grow into the person I am today and really figure out who I wanted to become in this lifetime. Not only was I able to make connections with others, but I was able to make connections within myself. It was here that I blossomed into a flower. During my time at school, I was able to really get involved and have a few leadership opportunities on campus. I was a community advisor, a student ambassador, a community service volunteer, and an orientation leader. People started to call me Miss Leslie. I knew almost all of the students who lived on campus, and I was really close with my faculty and staff. Throughout my time in college, I found the most joy in helping others. Being there to support and help someone other than myself really helped me have a better understanding of what I wanted to do with my life and how I could give back to others. I discovered that what I really wanted to do was to be a part of a community. Being a part of the Residence Life staff was like having a second family with me all the time. I had amazing supervisors who showed me great leadership skills. Whether it was leading a group, having one-on-one meetings, or reacting to an emergency situation, my supervisors became my support system and people I really looked up to. When I graduated last year, I pretty much had this look on my face for the entire day. I thought I was ready to be an adult and start working in the real world. Truth be told, I ended up feeling really lost for a summer and didn't know what I wanted to do with my life or where I wanted to go. Luckily, I had a few guardian angels to lead me in the right direction. I found myself back here at Leslie, right where I belong. I'm very fortunate to say that I work every day with these wonderful student leaders. We laugh, we cry, they get annoyed with me, but most importantly, they come to me in their time of need. I'm now that supervisor I once looked up to when I was a student leader. Seeing these smiles on my students' faces makes me so incredibly happy. I'm very grateful to say that I wake up every morning excited to help teach my students and watch them grow. My goal as a supervisor is to be there for my students, the way my mom, my dad, sister, Grampy, and my supervisors were there for me. When working one-on-one with a student, you get to know them on a more personal level. I started to see my students get overwhelmed and stressed with everything they were trying to balance. That's why this community project is so important to me. I want to help my students to feel safe and happy so they can continue to grow and not be stunted by their stress. When talking with my students about being a student leader, a lot of them say they feel this pressure to be perfect all the time because everyone is always watching them. It's often normal for student leaders to feel this fishbowl effect, and now it is my job as their supervisor to help them deal with these feelings and emotions and help them move forward. I've tried to design some new techniques to help students cope with some of these stressful feelings they are going through. I've incorporated weekly meditation sessions into our staff meetings. I've suggested each of my students to keep a running journal for themselves, and I've created a stress chart so each student can better understand their own stress level. This was my first full year of working as a supervisor for a community of students, and I have seen a lot of tears, a lot of angry faces, but also a lot of growth. I never thought I would get to a place where I was needed by someone else, but I feel so blessed and fortunate to be able to connect with this community on a day-to-day basis. I try my hardest to stay optimistic and positive in my life. I want to continue learning new things and help others along the way. Looking back, I never thought I'd be where I am today, but maybe that's why people always say, the best is yet to come. So I'm looking forward to the best of my future.